My name is Garner. I am a former technical director at News Press Now, which is in St. Joseph, Missouri, which is the St. Joseph News Press, which is a newspaper, and they also have 5 television stations, and I actually worked on the television side. And most of his interactions at the News Press was on the newspaper side, but because we all work out of the same newsroom, we all get the same emails, and we all, get the same briefings and stuff like that. My first interaction with him was after, I think there was an incident in July here in St. Joe at an IHOP, and he tried to say that someone had attempted to rob him and take $20,000 in cash away from him while you're driving around with $20,000 in cash. I have no idea. Anyway, but he made a big deal out of this and took some video, which apparently the video showed nothing, and he showed it to some of the news press reporters, and, they interviewed people, they talked to the police, I think they talked to the people at IHOP. They basically found that there was nothing of substance to his report. And when they did that, he started threatening the reporter that he was in contact with, just saying all sorts of crazy things, and just things that I knew couldn't be true. Like the news press had given out his name to a political enemy, and they were trying to get him with the information that they had. Just crazy, ridiculous stuff that I knew couldn't be true. And I really don't know the interaction with the reporter. I don't know if you want to use her name or not. Her name was, she's a reporter for the news press. But I believe that she had the most interaction with him there, and she was the one that he was threatening. And after he started threatening her for not running his bogus story, they reported him to the FBI. And that's, as far as I know, that's how the FBI got involved in all this, was that News Press Management reported him to the FBI essentially for threatening their reporter. And they sent out an email. This is the very first I heard of it. They sent out an email to all employees warning us. They included a picture of him in the email, and they said, if you ever see this guy on property, politely walk away and call 911 immediately, because he's been threatening our staff members. Okay, yeah, I was leaving at the end of August. Basically, that email that they sent out was in my second to last week of employment there. So I Googled this guy. I wanted to see what was going on, and, I saw his website, activist, and super fun research and all that stuff. I started clicking through some of his articles and reading his articles, and one of the very first articles that I read was talking about how the police had gotten called to his recording studio because the alarm went off and the police knew who he was, like he was some big shot or something. I'm like, I've never heard of this guy. It was just the article that he had written was written with such arrogance that I knew it couldn't be true. I'm like, who talks about themselves like that? It was just so ridiculous. It almost seemed like parody. And I thought for a while that this guy may have been some sort of, St. Joe had an issue a few years ago, a guy named Mark Trotch, I believe his name is. He pranked KQ2. He actually wound up on The Office, the television series The Office, because he pranked our local television station. So at first I was leery. I was like, is this just another publicity stunt kind of thing? But the more and more I read into it, I realized this guy's nuts. He's just out of it. It makes no sense. You cannot logically communicate with this guy. It's just not happening. And let's see, it was probably about 2 or 3 weeks later again that I became aware of the Daily Independent Journal Facebook page. I hadn't seen it. Apparently that was Bad Egg Investigations before that, but I didn't see it. I didn't catch on to this until I think Brian Myers posted about it. He posted about it on his Facebook, and he was like, this guy he's spreading lies and rumors about people in town. And I looked it up, and I was like, holy crap, that's that same guy who was threatening the news press reporter. And that's when I became pretty heavily involved in it, because not only had this guy was threatening and harassing people that I considered friends where I used to work, now he's going after a city councilman who I actually have a lot of respect for. So I started getting involved in the trolling, and I actually created the Daily Independent Journal is Fake Facebook page, and I did that because he kept deleting any time someone would logically argue with him, he would delete their comments. So I created that Facebook page as a way to repost his articles so people could comment on them without them being deleted. That's pretty much why I did that. But it's just, my communications with him have just been insane. He told me he owned me. He told me I was going to get raped in prison. He told me the FBI was coming to my house like the next day to arrest me, and that I was going to need a federal lawyer, and that I was going to get raped in prison because of him, and just all kinds of just, frankly, just batshit things. Just some of the craziest stuff I've ever heard. I still have all of my conversations with him, and they're fun. They're really fun. I like reading through them sometimes. I also play drums in a local band called the Ramey Memo, and we're based out of St. Joseph, Missouri. We've been here 20 years, and one of our main themes in our music is local people and local happenings. We're very Midwest based, and we like to write about a lot of things that happen in our community, in our hometown. And I gotta say, Matt Berdyck has actually inspired us a lot. We're writing a song about him. We've written at least 2 songs about him, but none of them are finalized yet. The problem that we're actually having with this is, where do we start with this guy? Like, what portion of his insanity do we cover? I mean, this goes back a decade at least that I can find on the internet. So, do we talk about how he's absolutely obsessed with Erin Brockovich or Brian Myers? He's obsessed with these people. Probably dangerously, I imagine. In a way, it's maybe not something to be taken lightly that we should make fun of, but it's something that I do enjoy making fun of because it's just so ridiculous. It's just so off the wall that someone acts this way. So it's just something we like to document. I have never met Matt Berdyck in person, just interactions over the internet. Frankly, I'd like to keep it that way. I can't imagine any in-person meeting between myself and him, or even anyone else in this community, would go very well. He's not well liked. Let me just say that. I don't think anyone really likes this guy. No one likes him. I don't think he'd last very long in a face-to-face conversation with anybody. He wrote an article about a friend of mine named Sean, who is a firefighter. He's a local firefighter, great guy, known him for 20 years. And he did it because Sean was trolling him. Sean only was trolling him because he was just saying these absolutely insane things, mainly about Brian Myers. He's obsessed with Brian Myers. Like, he sent Brian all these crazy messages for like days on end. I mean, there's hundreds of messages that he was sending to Brian. He just would not stop. Brian published a lot of those, I think. I don't know if they're still on YouTube or not. I know they were. I know he wrote another article about he gave someone a Stalker of the Week award, which I nicknamed the Stalky, and I tried really, really hard to win it, but he would just never give it to me, probably because he knew I was trying to win it. But that unfortunately never happened. Oh, and another thing that's unfortunate, he has completely blocked me from all of his social media. I cannot see his personal Facebook profile anymore, nor can I see his Twitter profile anymore. So he's kind of cut me off from seeing the latest updates.
Hello, my name's Raylyn. I'm from St. Joseph, Missouri. My husband's Garner. I first learned about Matt through my husband because he works for the news press, and I read that email. He did most of the research on it, would just tell me about it. But I got on there one time reading some of his stuff and saw a guy, I don't remember the guy's name now, unfortunately, but he was posting some legitimate questions to Matt's supposed articles that he would put up on his Daily Independent Journal page. And I started to respond And he just kind of was like, F you, and what did he say? I don't remember exactly, but he was like, I'm pretty sure you've been trolling me for a while, da da da. And I actually hadn't said anything. It all had been Garner and our friend Tyson, who plays in our band, the Ramey Memo. And I hadn't done anything, and he deleted all my posts, and he ended up blocking me eventually. But I was reading some of his comments on another page.
It was mine.
Oh, it was, yeah, okay, it was Garner's, yeah, his the Daily Independent Journal is fake, page, and, he was talking about his Social Security stuff and, you know, how he was a millionaire and stuff like that, and I was just like, you can't be getting Social Security if you have millions of dollars already. That's not legal. That's, you know, you're screwing the system if you're doing that. And he's like, well, that's not earned income. And I'm like, dude, yeah, it is. All of it's earned income. It doesn't matter. You can't get Social Security. And he was just like trying to one up me on that. And I'm just like, no. So I looked it up. By the way, I do actually have a bachelor's in criminal justice, so I have a little bit of a law. Yeah, I used to be a cop. I knew what he was just saying was wrong, so it was just like, I always make sure I research stuff so I'm not saying something and making myself look stupid in the end, but, it was just like, you know, okay, here's the right way, try again, you know, and he kept trying to go at me and I was just like, nope, here it is, try again. So that was kind of fun, and then he ended up blocking me, so that was no more fun for me. No, I never actually met him in person. And he's just the way he was treating people and, you know, just making up all this bullshit about people I knew is just kind of, you know, I don't like that. And that's something the Ramey Memo in general we're against. We've come up against so many stupid individuals on the internet and we just troll the shit out of them, especially if they have really bad grammar. Yeah, we do it in real life too. I mean, we make up songs making, you know, fun of the way people act, and you know, it's just like that's how we do it. We just throw shit back at them and you know, make it funny, and we like it. I don't know if anybody else does, but it's just been it's been a source of like intense. Oh my God, what the is wrong with you, dude? Type thing, and inspiration at the same time. Just like, leave us alone.
I'm like,
I haven't actually read too much about him being back yet, so. We actually have Tyson who is working on it. He wants to talk about that.
yeah, you get to interview the whole band tonight.
Pretty much.
Hi, my name's Tyson. With the song, I don't know. I'd been told about Matt Berdyck for a couple of weeks. I was in the process of a move, so I didn't have internet access a lot. So I was just like, it's just another troll on the internet. Well, finally I got internet access, and I just kind of started reading up on everything this guy was doing, and I decided to tell him that, hey, you know, if you want to come hear a song about yourself, why don't you come to this show, da 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 da. And he blocked me from commenting on his page at that point. So in private I sent him a message, and I had been told through a mutual friend that I live right across the street from him, where I was moving from, which was hilarious to me. So I was like, well, since you don't want to come to the show, how about you open your apartment window and I'll open my front door, and I'm sure you'll be able to hear it. And at that point, he said that I was threatening him with violence and stuff like that, which I never went into that threatening him with anything. I just wanted to have him hear this song. And anyway, after like another 12-hour period of researching this guy and kind of working on this song a little bit, I realized that anything that I put into this song is nothing compared to what he has done to other people around the country. It's just a small little fraction. So I became really, really, really weary of this song. I was like, man, there's nothing I can put in here that'll do all these people justice. However, there is a song. It is finished. It's just not, nobody's going to hear it yet. It'll be ready soon. And like I said, it really just pertains to our particular incidences with him. It doesn't really cover anything that this guy has put people through, unfortunately, and only ourselves. So in that regard, I kind of feel like it's a failure in a way, but at least we did cover the song in like half a day.
Oh, yeah.
It came quick. It just, it only really pertains to us. So that's kind of where I've left off at with all of that. He's also blocked me off of everything as well. So that's it as far as the song goes.
Yeah, the people of St. Joe came together pretty quick to kind of stamp it down. I mean, I think that most people saw through it that it was just bullshit. There's a few people that were still on his Daily Independent Journal Facebook page that were like, oh yeah, the St. Joe PD is horrible, and I have this problem with them, and I have this problem with them. I don't think that those people either A, they didn't read the article, or B, they're just not smart enough to see that this is not a legitimate thing. This guy has no legitimate credentials. He can barely spell things. He has no education in the media, no credentials. Everything that he did was fake, and I think that most people saw through it pretty quickly, which that actually is pretty cool. That St. Joe came together pretty quickly. And, told him that that kind of crap isn't welcome here and it's not going to fly here. And I think that's pretty cool that actually happened. And he claims that he has dyslexia and a bunch of other, disabilities. I mean, name it, and he has it when it suits him. Oh, yeah, he told Tyson he couldn't feel pain. He told Tyson that he had a nerve condition that made him immune to pain, like he's the Terminator or something. Just ridiculous things like that. Oh, and he also said that he was raped by homeless men and had a bunch of STDs and could give people AIDS and just all sorts of crazy stuff that none of his disabilities should have anything to do with his ability to write an article. It's like, so what, you have dyslexia. I mean, there is spell check. There are tools that you can use to help with that sort of thing. And the grammar in his articles is horrible. I don't know what his reading level would be, but I doubt it's anything past high school. Probably not more than a sophomore or junior level reading. It's funny that he wants to be a journalist because he just has no clue about what he's doing. Oh, and his film, good lord. Like, shaky camcorder footage edited together is not a movie. Sorry. It just doesn't work like that. Oh, and because I play in a band, he had started messaging my band page, or the Ramey Memo band page, because we had reposted what Brian Myers, we had reposted Brian Myers' warning about him, and he started commenting on that, and started messaging the band page, telling us he could make us famous, and that he knew all these famous producers, and that he had worked with, like, Dream Theater and Primus and all these famous bands, and he was like, well, it's too bad that you guys hate me. I could have helped you out. I could have got you a label. I'm like, I don't want your help. You know, he was trying to make himself sound like this big shot guy. He was telling me he literally said in a conversation, every door in the music industry is open to me. And I said, even the broom closets? Because there's no way that's real. And he told me that he was in a band that got signed to a major record label deal, but he was in a car accident and broke his hand just like Marty McFly in Back to the Future Part 2, which is where I'm pretty sure he took that from, by the way. And his band got dropped from the record label without him because he was the only good musician in the band. Just all sorts of overinflated ego bullshit. And, like, nothing he says is anywhere near true. And, you can't believe anything he says because it's all ridiculous like that. Yeah, the guy has delusions of grandeur. That's a great way to phrase it, yeah. And I'll give him this. He's a good guitar player. I've seen some of his videos, which is really crazy because, he does have a decent amount of musical talent. I'll give him that. The guy can actually play guitar. So why does he do all this crazy bullshit where he attacks people like just play music and shut the fuck up? I just don't get why he does. Like, he seems to get a thrill out of just constantly attacking people and harassing people. Yeah. He should build a ranch he should build a recording studio in his secret ranch in Colorado. Yeah, he told me he had a secret ranch in Colorado and he owned a mansion in the Bay Area. And it's like, okay, if you own a mansion in the Bay Area and a ranch in Colorado, why are you living in a utility apartment in an abandoned school in St. Joseph, Missouri? Because that's where he was living when all this happened. I feel sad for Brian Myers. Well, not sad because I know he's having a good laugh at this, but Brian has, I think out of anyone in the community, maybe save for the news press people, has endured the brunt of his attacks. And I think he's done it with an incredible amount of class. Brian's a great guy. He's very sharp. He has a very quick wit. He's a very well-educated guy, and he knows how to handle him. But I think that Brian has actually taken the brunt of his aggression for the St. Joe community. And actually, I don't know why. I don't know what caused him to single out Brian Myers and go after him. Now, that's kind of his MO. He usually does that in a community. He'll move into a community and pick out a media personality or a law enforcement person. In this case, it was one of our city council members. He was going after Brian relentlessly for days on end. He just didn't stop. I mean, it was round-the-clock messages to him. It was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. That's kind of one of the things where I was like, I've always been interested in people who are very weird. Like, if someone makes a really weird movie, I'll become not really obsessed, but I'll become very interested in the way this person's mind works. And that's kind of what drew me into this. Just because this guy's mind does not work the way everyone else's mind does. Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you. He told me that all of this was an Andy Kaufman-style act, like he was trying to imitate Andy Kaufman. So he's very well aware of what he's doing. He knows he's harassing people and hurting people, and when someone calls him out on it, he changes his story and says, no, they're attacking me. He basically will create an incident and then reframe that incident so he is the victim. And just that kind of mentality kind of intrigues me because it's very abnormal and I think it's kind of dangerous. I actually don't think this is going to end well for him. I honestly think there's only two ways Matt Berdyck's life or all this is going to play out. His lifestyle has a clock on it, and that clock's running down. He's been doing this for like 10 freaking years now. And at some point, either he is going to hurt someone or someone is going to hurt him. And that's sad, but I think it's true. When I first started researching him, my first hit was, I think it was his website where he talks about all his art. He has a few different websites. I know he has superfunresearch.org, which I actually thought about naming one of our songs Super Fun Research because it was really fun researching him, just because it was one of the craziest rabbit holes I never thought I'd ever go down in my life. Let's see. I know I found his website, and then I found just several other people who had claimed that he was harassing him. And when I read the things that he said, of course he would deny it. But I knew it was him because it was the exact same verbiage. Most of the misspellings were there. It was him. I mean, it sounded exactly, it felt just like the interactions that I had with him. So I pretty much believed those were genuine. Oh, and I found, there was a thing on the smoking gun about the Akron Pooper. And some people were saying he might have been the Akron Pooper, and I can't verify that. I don't think there was an arrest ever made in that, but it certainly does look like him. That photograph looks, especially in the face, the guy's wearing a hat when he's pooping on the car, but in the face it looks just like him. So that actually wouldn't surprise me if it really was him, because that kind of sounds like something he'd do. I'm glad that MBVR is around. I found them on Facebook after he started, harassing citizens of our town. I'm glad that there are people that are taking the time to archive what this guy says and what this guy does, because it might be important for a Netflix documentary someday. I'm glad that the people that he has harassed are getting together and kind of saying, sharing their experiences and sharing their evidence, and I think it's a really good resource. Yeah, the next town he moves to, I'm pretty sure he's out of St. Joe now. I don't know where he is. I know he restarted the Daily Independent Journal page after about a month of silence, and now it appears to be completely gone. Maybe he's rebranding. Maybe he's going to start a whole new thing. I have no idea. Whatever town he's in next, I hope that once he starts harassing people, that they find this and know that, this is something that's happened before and will probably happen again until hopefully law enforcement intervenes. I actually don't know why they haven't. I know he's been reported to the FBI and the local police department for harassment and stalking. Nothing apparently has happened. I reported his Facebook numerous times and nothing happened. It's kind of odd that no one seems to be doing anything about this guy, anyone in any kind of official law enforcement position. No one seems to be taking this seriously, and I think it's only a matter of time before they have to take it seriously.
And I would think that after that email that he sent to the FBI, to the news press, and everywhere else, that, threatening to take out a nuclear power plant, that would, qualify him as a terrorist.
watch list or something.
Yeah, get him on a watch list or, you know, something. I mean, maybe he already is on the watch list. Maybe he just hasn't done anything serious enough that the FBI is going to take action. They might be following him for sure, but I agree. I agree with Gardner. I think that, you know, something needs to be done soon before he hurts somebody or somebody hurts him. I mean, I don't like the guy, but I don't usually wish pain on anybody. So, I mean, it needs to be taken care of soon. And I would think that the next town that he goes to, that they should stand up to him, just kind of like St. Joe did, you know, put your foot down and say, well, enough of this shit, get out. You know, we're not going to stand for that. It's bullshit that he goes and does that to people.
Honestly, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, man, I really want to do one of those interviews, if nothing else, just to piss him off.